We return to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where about 40 million Congolese are expected to cast their votes today to elect a president alongside parliamentary, regional assembly and local council positions. Our very own NBC senior producer Ndishishii Hamufungu finds himself in the DRC and is now joining us virtually to tell us more. Bonjour, Monsieur Hamufungu. Bonjour, Monsieur.
Hello, Monsieur Denver. Thank you so much for having me. Top of the morning to, of course, the team and the nation as well. Yeah.
Doing on this gift of a Wednesday morning, how is the mood in the DRC? Where are you?
Denver, I'm currently at the Institute of Goma here in Kinshasa, where, of course, the electorate have gathered to cast their votes in the presidential, legislative and provincial elections of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Big day indeed, but however, there is a slight delay to the process here at this particular polling station. They were supposed to open at 6 a.m. this morning, but they still have not. If you look behind me, you can see a number of people gathered on the other side as well. I approximate roughly 100 people gathered here so far, and they are ready to cast their votes. We just got an indication from the polling officials here that they will be beginning with the process very soon. So hopefully everybody will get a chance to cast their vote. But Denver, I must tell you, the atmosphere is electric. People are excited to cast their vote. It is indeed a big day for the Democratic Republic of Congo. Yeah.
What do you attribute that excitement to? How significant is this election for the people of DRC?
Then, first and foremost, people want to see change, people want to see development. You know the story of the DRC, of course. They have suffered enough, if I can put it like that. But you must also know that this is perhaps one of the most highly contested elections in recent times. Last time, in 2018, they had a combined 35,000 candidates across the three levels of these elections. This time around, they have 100,000 combined candidates from 26 vying for the presidency, some 27,000 for 500 seats in parliament, and of course the rest fall into the provincial elections. So indeed, people are looking forward to these elections, not only for the promise of these elections, but also for the hope of a better DRC for them.
That is indeed significant, and surely what would be interesting to you amongst those 26 candidates, presidential candidates, is a soccer boss and a business owner who's also a former province governor, Mr. Katumbi. Yeah. Would you like to share something with us about these 26 presidential candidates in broad strokes, please?
Absolutely. There are 26 in total, but four main guys at this point in time. Of course, it is the incumbent president, Felix Tshisekedi, who is seeking a second and final term to, of course, run and fix things in this country. Secondly, Moise Katumbi, as you rightfully put it, prominent businessman, former governor of the Katanga province. He also, of course, owns football clubs. So they resonate very well, you know, with the electorate as well. Martin Fayulu is another name that you would remember from the 2018 election. Very popular here in the political sphere as well. In 2018, in fact, many people did feel that Katumbi was the rightful winner of that particular election. Until today, those sentiments remain. So it will be really interesting to see how these elections turn out. Of course, the final candidate is 2018 Nobel Peace Prize winner for his work, especially with rape victims in those war-stricken areas in the North Province, Kivu area, in that particular part. So Denver, I must mention that those four candidates at this point in time can be considered as the front runners. On Monday, we were at the incumbent president's final rally. That's Felix Tshisekedi, and I must say, Denver, it was packed to the brim. We estimate around 30,000 people were there. So it will be interesting to see how those campaign rallies, that campaign period translates into votes here at the ballot box here.
Speaking of war-stricken, we do know that the eastern part of DRC remains a bone of contention, remains painful to the people of the DRC. And some of these presidential candidates are also promising to restore peace to the east. Would you like to touch on that, please?
Yeah. Absolutely, Denver. That is, of course, one of the major issues in the country. Security, security, security. That is what people want to say. And it's hard to bring development in any context when there's war, when there's conflict in a country. So, for instance, President Felix Tshisekedi has, of course, anchored his campaign period around 3 thematic areas: unity, security, and prosperity. And repeatedly, from Mbuji-Mayi to rallies here in Kinshasa, he has really anchored on the issue of security. He has spoken out plainly about foreign influences, even accusing his northern neighbor, that's President of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, of backing these rebel activities in the North Kivu province. So definitely, Denver, that is one major issue that people want to see. When we spoke to some of the people as well over the past week and a half, a lot of them expressed concern around security and really want to see these elections be conducted in a peaceful manner. But also, most importantly, what happens post these elections? That is another question, and of course, that is another concern for the people. The conflict in the east, of course, is a major concern, to the point where the Electoral Commission is not conducting elections in those parts of the country. Ruchuru, Masisi, for instance, will not be having elections due to the conflict. They did not conduct any voter registration in those parts of the country, Denver.
Merci beaucoup, Ndishishii Hamufungu. We look forward to regular updates as the day unfolds from you and colleagues Tatefesi.
Just before I leave you, Denver, I'd like to quickly catch up with one of the voters here at the Institute of Goma polling station, Renata Nshimba. Of course, she is here as well, ready to cast her vote. Renata, bonjour, madame. How are you doing today?
Good, and you, sir?
I'm great, thank you. Just how would you describe the build-up to today? Of course, we've seen some intense campaigning for a month or so. How would you describe and how are you feeling this morning?
The campaign was very rough because it was everybody speak about what you want to do about the country. We are happy because everything was in peace, especially that we appreciate that. And today I'm very excited. I'm very excited because now today we have the decision to put the person we want for the next 5 years in my country. So we are very excited. That's why we are here very early in the morning to be like the first person to give our vote today.
Yeah. There's a slight delay, of course, to the election process. How does that make you feel?
Actually, this election process, I'm feeling like my country is growing. Yeah, because it's getting better than past years. And this is my second time for me to vote. And I'm very happy, actually. I'm very happy because today we are writing the story of our country.
Absolutely, absolutely. Renata, of course, there's also provincial elections. You spoke about, off air about, the changes that you'd like to see in your particular area. Just for the sake of our viewers back home who are watching this interview right now, perhaps just touch to us on some of the changes that you'd like to see.
The main change we want in DRC is security. Because today the election may be fair, but it's not really fair because some of our Congolese people, they are not allowed to vote due to security issue. So the main problem will be security, because if we don't have security, we can't have development. So we want that security like nothing.
Very much.
Yeah.
Renata, thank you for joining us. All the best to you, all the best to the people of the DRC. And of course, we do hope that you get to cast your vote here. Yeah. There you have it, Renata Nshimba, one of the voters here at the Institute of Goma, Denver. She is, of course, looking forward to casting her vote in a short bit. We are seeing some activity happening now, and hopefully this particular polling station will open in a bit. We will keep you abreast. We will update you as the day progresses, as we'll, of course, be visiting a number of polling stations. Thank you for having me, Denver.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Merci.
There you have it, our very own Mr. Ndishishii Hamufungu, updating us with what is happening in the DRC capital, Kinshasa. 40 million people expected to make their way to the polls today to elect their leaders for the next 5 years. When we return, it's time to let you know what's on the menu for the third and final hour of this Wednesday edition of GMN.